purpose, beautiful people, and welcome to the Soothing Sessions podcast. I am your host, Shannon Chappelle, and I am here to soothe your soul. So this podcast was created as a safe space to build community, connection, and growth, a place where we can heal, breathe, and step into our inner peace and purpose. Before we begin each session, we'll set an intention and then we'll close with an affirmation. So that way your heart and soul are open to receive anything that God has for you in this moment. So if possible, go ahead and light your favorite candle, grab your journal, grab your favorite drink, and let's settle into this space as we begin this journey together. The candle I'm using for today's session is my Tranquility candle from my business Scentual Soothers, which we will discuss. I also have my journal here from a book that I wrote, Journey to Inner Peace and Purpose, which we will discuss. And I am drinking water because this is my first session and I get a little parched from my brand Scentual Soothers, soothing souls one sip at a time. And on the back of the mug, we have affirmations of self-love, manifestation, and tranquility. Self-love is my foundation, my power, my peace. Manifestation begins with my mindset, receive it, believe it, achieve it. And tranquility is created from within. Stillness is where I find my strength. All right, guys, so let's get started. The intention we're going to set for this first session is I open my heart to new beginnings and trust where this journey will lead me. So let's start from the beginning. Okay. So to let you guys know a little bit about myself, my name is Shannon Chappelle. I am an entrepreneur. I'm an actress, a writer, producer, all the things, a caretaker, content creator, do it all, okay? I'm also a wife and I am that auntie, okay? My journey to soothing sessions began, I would say, the end of 2021 is when the Lord shook things up, but my transformation started probably the beginning of 2021. I was working at a beauty supply in Studio City, California, Black-owned beauty supply for 13 years. And I was there for so long because it was very convenient for me to go to auditions and come back and, didn't have to work a night job, waitressing, didn't have to do any of that. Working at the store was very flexible. So it just became a point in my life where it was just time for me to move on. And honestly, I tried to quit the shop like every year. I'd be trying to quit, and God is like, it's not time yet. And let me say this. There's moments where you're like, I'm ready to go. I got to get out of here. I got to move on with my life. I got to do whatever. And it may not be time because God is using you to help be a servant to someone else. So just keep that in mind as we go through these sessions. So I stayed at the store longer than expected because I was being a servant to someone else. But at the end of 2021, that time was up. So I ended up leaving the store. My last day was 12/21/2021. And I'm a numbers person. So when I see signs of numbers, angel numbers, I know God is present. I know my angels are watching, and I know it's a sign. I ended up quitting the end of 2021. Work was starting to pick up from COVID, and I was booking again. And so I was like, all right, well, let me just get back into this acting thing, right? So we go into 2022, and I'm like, okay, this is about to be my big break. Things are coming. And then, bam, we get hit with another, I think it was Omicron back then. And the industry basically was like, nah, we still shut down. So I had already quit. And I'm like, I am not going back to the shop. Like once I'm done, I'm a tourist. Once we done, we done. And I was done. It was just no going back. So I was like, well, what I'm gonna do, Lord? Like, I thought we was about to be on set and I'm at the house. Like, what's happening? During that time of transition, I was going through the 7-year itch with my husband, which I did not even know was a thing until it was a thing. I was like, what is going on? Why? I'm stressed, depressed. And my friends were like, well, how long y'all been married? Or like people were like, how long you been married? I'm like, 7 years, 7 years. They're like, oh girl, that's just the itch. Y'all be okay. And I'm like, what is that? So for my married couples, if you know, you know, right? So going through the 7-year itch, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. I don't have no job. One of my friends, she launched her business, and so I would go with her to pop-ups, marketplaces to help, sell and promote her brands. And at these pop-ups, literally like 90% are Black women. And so I'm the type, well, if you can do it, I can do it too. So I'm going to these events, I'm talking to business owners, and I'm just getting inspired. And I'm like, one thing I can do is run a business. I managed the shop for Lord knows how many years. My mom, oh gosh, serial entrepreneur. So she embedded that in us as in elementary school. We had a candy shop and in our basement that me and my twin brother ran after school. You talking fourth and fifth grade. So I know how to run a business, right? Or have the tools to running a business. So I'm like, I want to do my own thing. I was going into a new decade the following year. So I said, okay, let me just bust my butt, work as hard as I can. So by next year's milestone birthday, I'm coasting. I'm not just getting started. I'm already starting. It's already moving. During this time, I was in isolation. I one, I didn't know what was happening with my marriage, and I just knew that, okay, girl, you got to bet on yourself. Like people are doing it, you got to do it too. So I would sit down, like it would be days, I won't even turn the TV on. I would just sit there and pray, 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 pray. And let me tell you something, I'm going to reference God a lot because I would not be here right now if it wasn't for God. He gives all the glory, He gets all the praise. So keep listening because you need to hear it, and people need to understand that you got to know how to hear God to know how to move. So anyway, we'll get to that. But I was in stillness, and I probably for the first time in a long time, I actually sat still and listened, and I surrendered. And surrendering is so pivotal in transformation. So I said, God, what do you have for me? I want to start my own business. I want to do something, number one, that honors you, that will bring people closer to you, something that is not like a one-off that people will keep coming back to. And I just want to help heal people, encourage people, inspire people. Like that's the basis of the business. I don't know what it is, but that's the foundation. I just started researching just on the computer. And let me tell you something. People be asking, how do you start a business? How do you do YouTube? YouTube and Google, that is all you need. We will have sessions on how to start a business, and just to give you ideas. But honestly, guys, YouTube and Google is your very, very best friend. Everything you need is on there. And once you start typing in what kind of videos you want to see, the algorithms will start feeding it to you. So just sidebar, okay? YouTube University and Google. Everything you need to know is there. I'm a serial researcher. So I was just researching how to find products, just where do I get them from? How do I contact people? Like all the things, right? Because I knew how to run a business, but I never personally built one from the ground up. My mom did it, but this is also like in the 90s, early 2000s. So that was my thing. And with the technology today, building a business from scratch. I came across a lot of YouTube videos, that guided me to a wholesale business. And then from there, I was researching, and then candles came up. And if you know me, I am a candle connoisseur. There's candles all over my house. I love scents. However, I create scents. And sometimes when I burn a candle, I'm like, this candle smells good, but I wish it also had this in it or that. So I'm like, oh, I can create candles because I love mixing scents. Like if you hug me, you're going to smell about 3 to 5 different fragrances. And people be like, what is that you have on? I'm like, I got on a couple things. I got on the oil, I got on perfume, I got a body spray. Like what you need? Which one you want? So I am a scent person. It's when you come to my house, it's gonna smell good. You gonna hug me, I'm gonna smell good. You get in my car, it's gonna smell good. So I knew, okay, candles, scents. Okay, let me lean into that. But let's go deeper. Because everybody's selling candles. You can get candles anywhere. Target, Walmart, Home Goods, Marshalls. You can get candles anywhere. What's gonna make my candles different? During this time of depression and isolation, I was going through a phase of loving myself again. Because being at that shop for 13 years, I had an identity that wasn't me. And when you're at a place where all of these people are coming in, I mean, we had A-list celebrities all the way down to the homeless and crackheads coming up in there, to the influencers, to the Instagram models, makeup artists, hair artists, regular everyday people. I mean, it was a little bit of everything. Drag queens, I mean, everything, okay? And you don't know who's coming through that door at any given moment. So you just got to be ready. And you're taking in all of this energy every day. By the end of the day, I was depleted. And then I was bringing that same energy home. And that was putting a strain on my relationship. So I knew it was coming to a point where I had to quit because I'm about to lose my man. Because these people driving me crazy and I'm coming home and I'm being crazy. I was going through a phase of self-love. And so I was like, okay, I need to create a candle that's going to set my candles apart. Okay, let's I was really into meditating and speaking affirmations. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna create a candle that has affirmations, right? And then on the wholesale site, I came across a candle that had gemstones in it. And I said, oh, I like the stones. It gives you something extra. So you're not just burning the candle, then you're done. So I'm like, okay, we can make this a whole spiritual experience. The first candle I created was self-love because I was in a space of loving this new version of myself. And so, in the candle, we had the gemstones, amethyst, which is the symbol of my brand, Scentual Soothers. And we had the amethyst, we had, which is your inner peace. We had the rose quartz, which is self-love, and then the clear quartz, which is spirituality. And then it's like all natural soy wax. Each candle comes with an affirmation and intention to set when you burn the candle. That began me creating now my business, Scentual Soothers. And it's Scentual Soothers, SCENTUAL Soothers, because we're here soothing souls. Then from self-love, I created, God created, shall I say, manifestation was my second candle. Because again, where I was, that place in my life, I was manifesting, a job, saving my marriage. I was just deep. Okay, God, let me speak what I want into existence. I got to receive it, believe it, and achieve what I want. So let me just manifest it and just speak on it every single day. So we went from self-love to manifestation. And then my third candle was tranquility, which is the one that I'm lighting now. Tranquility. And if you can see, the stones are in there as well. So tranquility was to keep peace and stillness within. Because when I say I was going a little crazy, And I'm a very peaceful person, but I was losing it. So I had to bring that back, in. So Scentual Soothers, I ended up launching that August 24th, 2022. Whew, time is flying. Okay, so launched that then, and it was like, when I say, just the most amazing thing that I could have done for myself, because it was like, dang, we did that, God, and people were loving it. People still love it. I was really inspiring people about my story and letting them know that this is God. I put it out there, what my foundation was, what I was trying to do, and then God, hey, he ordered my steps. And so I ended up creating 3 candles within 6 months. And within that 6 months, I'm building a website. And when I say I did everything myself, I didn't have a team. I built that website up all night, talking to people. I don't know where they at overseas on how to integrate stuff in the app. I mean, I'm an arts girl. So all this tech stuff, I was like, what is this? Again, Google and YouTube. It's everything you need, gonna tell you how to do it. Get on the phone, call, the little chats, little self-help chats, call them, and they'll help you get it done. So built a website, got the business license, everything you need, the EIN numbers, did all the things. So again, a 6 month process from the moment that I got the idea in February from God, and then launched it in August of 2022. Scentual Soothers is now thriving. And the following year, 2023, was my milestone birthday. And things were going great. And actually, which was crazy because we were in the middle of a strike, 2023. So I was so grateful for Scentual Soothers, because while we were on strike, I had my business. So I was at pop-ups. I had a pop-up that I was doing every single Friday. I had pop-ups that I did once a month. I was out in them streets, okay? My husband was helping me. Friends was helping me. Appreciate all of y'all. But we was out there slanging them candles, okay? And we was inspiring people, encouraging people, and people, or the customers, they were inspiring me because people loved my story so much. They were encouraging me to start a podcast. And I was like, I don't know about that. There's so many podcasts out there. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to encourage y'all to buy these candles. But people was like, no, people need to hear your story, because the fact that you are giving all praises to God, like, people need to understand that. And I was like, okay, let me just, I'll keep that in the back of my pocket. We'll revisit that, which kept me encouraged. It was like, maybe I could, but whenever God tell me it's time, then that's when we'll do it. Then I guess it's time. Okay, so 2023, out here slanging candles, and then life started to happen. So from, I would say, fall to all the way to the following summer 2024, life started lifing. And I went through a very traumatic situation. I'm not ready to speak on yet, but I do know it will come out in one of these sessions, but just not there yet. I'm actually still healing from it. But anyway, I went through this experience, and I'm telling you this because this is what led me to write this book, Journey to Inner Peace and Purpose. So everything will tie in together. January 2024, I actually tried to launch this podcast. I had a totally different name. I was just like, all right, I'm going to just do it. Everybody told me I should do it. I'm going to just do it. And I wrote a whole outline of my episodes, the topics. Like I was ready to go. Okay. And pretty much the topics was my life experience, like the stages that I went to get to my peace and purpose. So I wrote every January, ready to go, trying to book a space. Like I'm ordering all my equipment. Like I'm ready to go. And it was just not happening. I ended up going through the trauma again. And the second time really took me out. So I was like, God, why am I going through this? Like, what's up? And you know what he said? And it's not the first time he said this to me when I've been through stuff in the past. When I'd be like, God, why am I going through this? He said, why not you? What makes you different from any other person that's going through the same situation? And I'm like, dang, why not me? Like, what makes me exempt? So I was like, all right, let me sit in that. So June, it hit the fan. All right. It was like the worst depression I probably ever experienced in life, which carried pretty much to the rest of 2024. And I would say, to understand the level, the first time ever in life, and I hate to say this, but just so you can have context, first time ever in life, I understood why people say, I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to say the word, but you understand what I'm saying. Where people just like, I checked out, I'm done with the earth, I don't want to be here. I understood that for the very first time ever in life, because I'm a woman of faith. I grew up in the church. I'm at church 4-5 days a week growing up. And I was always taught, if you end your life, you're going straight to hell. And I ain't going to hell. So it was never been a thought, because I was told as a child, you're going to go straight to hell. And that's not a place where I'm trying to spend eternity. So it was never a thought until last year. And it was more of not a thought to do it, but I understood why people have those thoughts or take those actions. And that's something that I never, ever, ever want to feel again. I gave myself time to process what I was going through. Like I shut down for like a month. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't hang out. I didn't do nothing. I was in the house. Okay. I was like, I don't want to see nobody, because I was so emotional. I was so depressed, and I just didn't want to put that on other people. And also I didn't know when I was going to have a meltdown. So it was just safe for me just to stay isolated. So July comes around, and I'm like, all right, God, I ain't the type to really dwell in depression. I gave myself grace, but now it's time to get up out of this. So I'm gonna, deal with the feelings, deal with the grief, deal with what I got to deal with. But how can we move forward? Because I thought this was my purpose, and you said it's not. So then what's my purpose? I surrender. You got it. Because every time I think I'm going here, you pull me here. And I'm tired of fighting with you. So what do you have for me, Lord? I surrender. I'm ready to receive it. Tell me what you have for me. You know what God said? God said, we're going to start here. Those notes you wrote back in January, 6 months ago, pull those up. Open that computer, pull those notes up. Let's start here. And I just started writing. I went through my outline that I wrote for my podcast, and I just started writing. And I just let God, pretty much the Lord was writing, because ain't no way I could just like come up with this stuff. But this is stuff that I had been living for so long that it was like a puzzle that was just coming together. For the month of July 2024, I wrote. the whole month, all day, all night. I mean, I had to get blue blocker glasses, like my eyes was burning at that computer. And I was just writing, writing, writing. And as I was writing, I was healing. Once I got finished writing, um, again, going on YouTube and researching, digital marketing kept coming up, ebooks kept coming up. So I was like, oh, wait a minute, I just wrote a whole book. Basically, okay, dang, if this book's making me feel this good after what I just went through, then this can help heal someone else. Okay, let me format this into an ebook. So then got on my good old Canva, and the month of August, I started creating and formatting my text into an ebook. And after 2 months of being diligent, putting in a lot of hours, Journey to Inner Peace and Purpose was born. And when I say I am so proud of this book, I never, ever would have thought I would have written a book. Like I said, I am an actress. I've written scripts, I've written plays, but a self-help book was not in my plans, but it was God's plan. You heard that? God's plan. Yeah, let him use you, okay? I wanted to have journals for Scentual Soothers, and that was something down the pipeline. But my book ended up being a journal because at the end of each chapter, you have a note section where you can write out your thoughts. And I give you a question to answer, and you still have your journal format. So, and we will go over this. We will go over the book. So I don't went from candles, and honestly, let me go back to the candles. Within a year, I created 16 candles. I had my original collection, the Sensual collection, which is the self-love, manifestation, and tranquility candles, which is the pillars of Scentual Soothers. And then because I launched my business right before the holidays, people were like, oh, are you going to have holiday candles? So then I created the Fulfillment collection, which is grateful, peaceful, joyful, hopeful, to represent the holidays. And then I created 2 other lines, our Revival collection. I created a Fire and Desire collection. And then I created a Gentleman's collection because actually I had a lot of men buying my candles, but they were like, I need something more musky and woody. So then created the Gentleman's collection. 2 of the collections I'm no longer doing, but I'm also in the works of creating a aromatherapy collection right now that's in the works. From candles to writing a book, God was leading me to somewhere where I could see where he was taking me. And it was like, okay, I see where we're going. Oh God, am I ready for this? But it's like, this is what I asked for. So I'm just riding away. Now, where we're at with Scentual Soothers, I have created these mugs. Again, the Scentual Soothers mug with your affirmations. We also have tote bags that also has the affirmations on the tote bag, so you can carry your essentials and your affirmations with you wherever you go. And I wanted to create a mugs and totes because people sometimes people don't know where to start. And I have been called by the Lord to help you get started. And just by simply giving you an affirmation to say, giving you an intention to set, that alone will help you get started on the path that God is taking you to. And so I just asked the Lord to keep using me as a vessel to help heal and inspire others. That pretty much is how Scentual Soothers was developed, and how from Scentual Soothers led to me writing a book, which led to me creating this podcast. And all by God himself, because again, this was not Shannon Chappelle's plan. This is God's plan. And honestly, I'm grateful. Like, I am so grateful because I know that I'm doing this to help others. And I'm just grateful that God chose me for that. So who am I to go against what he has for me and what he has for y'all? That is a little bit about me. I hope my story inspires you and encourages you to take that leap of faith and start that business, start that podcast, quit that job. Whatever it is that God is calling you to do. I hope my story encourages you to do that. But as we go through these sessions, and let me say this. The reason why it's called Soothing Sessions is because I know it's a lot of podcasts out there and they do episodes. And so this podcast is not we're not doing episodes. We're doing sessions because I want you to feel like you're in therapy. I actually just got into therapy within the last year. I do therapy myself. Also, my husband and I, we do couples therapy. And it has really changed my life. I mean, it's one thing where you're talking to your friends, your siblings, whatever. But a therapist is unbiased. Not saying that I got a crew that they unbiased too, but the therapists, they really help break down, things that they're trained to, but they have a way of making you think and reflect on your actions and what you could have done to make the situation better. So I definitely am an advocate for therapy. It has changed my life. It has changed my marriage. It has saved my marriage. We just celebrated 10 years. Won't he do it? And therapy. So when you tune into Soothing Sessions, I want you to feel like, oh, that was some therapy there. Now, I'm not a therapist. All right. I am not licensed. None of that. But I am a soul soother. And so I just want you to feel like your soul was soothed when you left these sessions. So that's why I named it Soothing Sessions. Okay, so just to give you some context there. So while we are going through these sessions, we will be referencing the chapters in this book, Journey to Inner Peace and Purpose, just to give you an idea of the chapters. The essence of self-love, which is where we will start because it all starts with self. The power of manifestation, the serenity of tranquility, the strength of faith, the grace of surrendering, the beauty of transformation, the clarity of purpose. We'll also talk about gratitude, acceptance, starting a business, and a bunch of other stuff. Whatever God has for me, you're going to get it too. This book will be a guide as we go through this session. So you can order a copy. It's on Amazon. Also, you can order from my website, ScentualSoothers.com, because we will be going through these sessions. We have pictures. It's my bio. We have pictures. So it's not just text. Like it's visuals that breaks down each chapter. And then, like I said, we have a list of affirmations of self-love, manifestation. That way, if you don't know where to start, what to say, here's a guide to help you to get started. And then each chapter is a note section, so you can write down your thoughts and whatever God has for you. So if you want a book, you can get it at ScentualSoothers.com, or again, it's also on Amazon. So this will be a guide that we will use as we go through these sessions. I also have a free preview version on the website if you want to download that. It's also in an ebook and a paperback format, but you can download the free ebook preview, so that way you can get an idea of what we'll be talking about before you purchase the full PDF ebook, or I would say get the book. I went into the digital product world because having a business and inventory, it's a lot, okay? And it could be a bit overwhelming, especially if you're doing this by yourself. So having digital products, it helped with, me not having to maintain so much inventory, especially from quitting a store. It was like, oh Lord, I started a whole nother store, or I'm working at a whole nother store. It's my store, but I'm still dealing with physical products. So I created the ebook so I didn't have to deal with physical products. But then once people started ordering the ebook, they was like, girl, I need a book. So I ended up publishing publishing the book. And honestly, I'm so grateful for the people who encouraged me to publish the book, because it's nothing like having this in your hand, flipping through these pages, the colors. It just hits different. So I would definitely encourage you to get the book. But if you are a tech person, that ebook is there as well. As we close out this session, let me ask you this. Where in your life are you being called to take a leap of faith? Think about it. Leave your answers in the comments so that way we can pray with each other. I can sing you some virtual love as you talk to God about it, and take that leap if you feel called to do it. So put your answers in the comments. That way everyone can support, and then you may meet someone who wants to take the same leap as you. So let us know in the comments, where in your life are you being called to take a leap of faith? Thank you so much for tuning in. This is God's work. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you stay. Let a friend know so we can create this community and walk this journey together. Thank you for joining me for this first session of Soothing Sessions podcast. I pray that hearing my story inspires you to trust your own journey. And as we close, let's affirm together, I am exactly where I am meant to be, and my story is unfolding beautifully. Take this in with you. Breathe it in. Exhale. Thank you, beautiful people. I'll see you in the next session. If today's session brought you peace or inspiration, I'd love for you to like, subscribe, comment, and stay connected with this growing community. Share this with someone who might need a gentle reminder of their own light. We're here to soothe souls, one session at a time.